So Dee, we're going to talk about how to make your putting practice a little bit more interesting and a little bit more effective, and a way that you can do it so it makes it a bit more fun to do.
Exactly, and I think that's really important, Annie, that we have a system that we're going to use on how to practice our putting. A proven system that's used by most of the top tour.
That's right, and we've got a fantastic drill that Tiger Woods uses.
That's exciting.
Yeah. So we're going to take you through the process that you can use step by step to make your putting practice more effective and more fun.
Exactly, and once your putting gets better, you're certainly going to lower your scores.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you've got to find a way, like you just said, to make it fun.
Yeah.
So the first phase is to work on our technique.
Technique is phase one.
Technique is phase one, where you won't have a golf hole, you may not even have a ball, but you'll have some training aids to help you.
Okay.
And depending on your skill level, you may practice this for longer if you're a higher handicapper. If you're a really good putter, you're probably not going to work on the technique so much.
So we're going to start with a little bit of technique, and this one is a great example. This is what Tiger does a lot. He's famous for this particular drill, where he puts a tee on either side of the putter head.
So either side, so here's my putter head. So the tee is either side of the putter
Yep.
head.
And why do we do that? What's the benefit, Dee?
Well, it's going to mean that when I'm swinging back and swinging through, I'm keeping the putter head very square to the target line.
It's not wobbling around.
It's not wobbling around. It's
You're not
going
cutting
through.
across.
Yep, and I particularly like this training aid too, because it helps me see the club face square when I'm starting. Rather than close.
And that's so important, club face
so it's
square.
kind of, and did you say Tiger does this without a ball?
Without a ball, yeah, that's right.
So if your handicap's high, you might give yourself a little bit of a leeway.
Make it wider, yeah, exactly.
And as you get better.
That's
and
right.
I know Tiger doesn't use his golf ball, but we could even just basically, once we're feeling really confident, use the golf ball.
Yeah, and try not to hit
And
this.
try not to hit that thing. So I was not really paying. So that's why Tiger Woods doesn't do it. I don't know why I thought I was better than Tiger Woods.
Let's try again. See if you can avoid those tees.
Yeah, we'll see if we can avoid those tees. But notice, I think it's important that I don't have a hole out here.
Yeah.
And the reason I don't want a hole is because if I'm working on my technique and it starts missing, that little voice says, oh, Dee, that's pretty not very good what you're doing. You missed. This
and you're focusing technique-wise, not result-wise.
And I think that's probably why Tiger doesn't have a ball there either.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he wants to build that confidence up.
Yeah,
so
get the stroke right.
Probably what we should do is do it several times without a ball and get that happening, and then let's do it with a ball. So obviously I need more practice. Do it without a ball. Oh, isn't that funny?
You need to do Tiger's drill.
Yeah, so actually, this is great that this has happened. I love that this has happened. So we think we're better than Tiger Woods. I should not put a ball down, and you should not put a ball down until you can do it several times without it.
Yeah.
And then don't come straight back and put the ball there.
Yeah.
Practice it
a little bit.
So we practice. Maybe I should move it further away.
Maybe you're cutting across it too much that way.
I think I am.
There you go.
That was better.
But isn't that interesting? You knew straight away you're cutting across it, so it actually gives you great feedback.
Very good feedback.
So we've got any other drills that we could use, Dee?
Yes, we've got this other drill here. I love this one. This was a Michael Breed thing, and the reason I like this is, once again, it's getting your putter face square and it's getting it to roll straight. What I would suggest here, though, is you've got to get a flat lie. This one isn't quite, it's on a little bit of a slope.
What are these little gates doing for us?
These little gates are a bit like Tigers, but they're getting the ball to run straight.
Yeah.
So you'd like to be able to start the ball straight, keep it rolling, so you're not cutting across it and oscillating.
Yeah. So it'll stay on this, what they call the sword, if your putting stroke is straight back and through.
And then the further you go, you're kind of wanting it, if you can, to go through the middle.
That's why you need a flat putt, because it'll start to run off.
But the interesting thing is it gives you really good feedback. And as you're getting further back, if it's either on the black or the red down there, which we can show later, it's still going to give you a good result for a long putt.
Yes, exactly.
It's these short putts that are really important.
Yeah.
They're like 50% of our putts.
Yeah. Okay, so you're trying to keep the ball on this little, what they call the sword.
Quite a slope here, so this was not the wisest spot to put it, but anyway, so we're trying to keep it on the sword. I haven't practiced my putting.
Try
again. It's a bit of a slope, isn't it? Like
you hit the first one.
Don't tell him that. I'm the world's best putter, according to you.
She's actually a really good putter.
I know. I haven't practiced. I'm going to do it without a ball first. So you're just practicing getting it to the bit. Since I'm here, okay.
But you hit that side.
Oh, that's right.
That's better. Yeah. But is there anything that people can use if they don't have these? Could they put 2 T's on either side?
Tees, but notice it
gets wider.
And you know, if you're having trouble, because this is very frustrating. So if you have, do you want to get the ball for me, please?
Sure do.
If you're having trouble in this little game, and you could stay here for quite a while if you. And if you just to start with, let's just get it to stay on and go a little bit past.
Yeah, and then do shorter ones, then longer.
Shorter ones, then build it up. If this is frustrating the hell out of you, even just
widen the tees.
Yeah, widen the tees, or even just do a few without the gate. Just making sure you start. See, that one was nice. It started all the way.
And if people don't have one of these things, could they just put like some very narrow alignment rods?
Alignment rods.
Yep.
We've got there
2 golf clubs parallel.
2 golf clubs.
Even.
About
Yeah.
this width.
Yep. Okay. So these are our technique drills. What's next?
Phase 2.
Phase 2 of our practice session.
So we want it to be fun. We want to add variety, because all we do is practice technique.
Yeah.
It's not going to apply when we go to the golf course.
Exactly.
So we need to start simulating the golf course. So I believe we need some games.
Some games. Okay.
Some simple games.
Let's have a look at some games.
Yeah, let's have a look at some games. So Annie, is this one of your favourite games? Like
Yeah, we used to play this when we were on tour. Do you remember? You'd put them all around, and the good thing about putting them all around the hole is that you get different breaks. You get an uphill, downhill, side hill one way, side hill the other. And so you're practicing, you know, all the different angles.
So what's the game? Just to see how many we can get.
How many you can get in a row.
So it's not really a competition, it's just a bit of variety.
Bit of a fun thing. You can play it with a friend as well, where you might have someone on the opposite side of the hole, and you both try and hold that one. If you both hold it, you move on.
Yep.
And if one holds it and the other one doesn't, the person who holds it gets to move on.
So this one would be less stress because it isn't a competition. It's
Yeah, yeah.
So, but you know, I find, and I know you agree, even when we're playing the game, it's now like the golf course.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure we're going through our routine.
Yeah, very good. Dee doing her aim point.
What it is.
Yep, so you're taking your time to have a little look at the break, having a practice stroke. Try and take it seriously. Quite. Move around to the next one.
Move around to the next. I want to go through the same routine. This is about a 4.5 footer that we're doing.
That's quite a decent length putt. You can make it shorter or longer for these. Probably the shorter putts is really what you're practicing here. That's a nice putt, Dee. I'd probably suggest a slightly shorter putt too. Making it a bit hard for yourself.
A little bit pressure.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go around.
That's right.
And see how many I get.
How many, and like if you got say 3 in a row and then you missed, you might then start again, set it up instead of starting and see if you can beat your record. In fact, you could keep going and write down.
You don't want any serious consequences.
Yeah.
You want to go through your routine, but it's relaxed.
Bit of fun. So this is another one we've got down over here, Dee. Now this is more of a distance control drill. So you'd set your ball up to the left of your little sort of, what do you call those? Little markers there that we've got on the green. So all these are is just some rubber markers that Dee had, but you could use tees, you could lay some clubs down. And all we're doing is got about 1 metre or a bit more between each one. And so Dee's going to putt into the first section with the first ball. So she's going to practice the short one, then with the second ball she's going to try and get it into the second section. Or we could go the third, or even the fourth.
This is what happens if you don't go practice.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's okay.
Yeah, and so what this game is, you would then bring that back and start again. So you want to get in a row, first section, second section, third section, in a row, and then, you know, kind of end up with a score. So, sort of. Yeah, even though she missed the first section, normally you'd start again.
Oh, I've got to start again.
You've got to start again in between, and then you end up with a score, you know, like you might have like 8 in a row is your best, and so you have like a personal best. So these are good fun to play. Test yourself out. There you go. Zero fun.
Zero fun.
But what I love about this one, Dee, Now she's getting the hang of it. What I love about this tee is that it mixes up your distance control, and that's what happens when you're on the course, right? You've got to try and work out how hard to hit each putt, or... No, you're not very good at this, too. Okay, but that's a fun game that you can play, and I love it because it gets you thinking about distance control. What length swing am I using to take me what distance?
Do you know what I found when I was doing that though, Annie? I didn't really go through my routine, which was really bad.
Exactly, and plus when you know someone's filming you and you're trying to not, you're half concentrating.
But I didn't go through my field distance. I wasn't visualising what I was doing.
Yeah, you're not really concentrating the way you normally would. Absolutely. So this is a great one. Set it up at home with some tees or some clubs. Really good. You could do it with short putts as well.
Yep.
Practice your short ones. You set them up maybe 6 inches apart, tee 6. All right, so let's move into phase 3. So phase 3, Dee, is where we put a little bit of pressure on and run a little competition with ourselves.
I found the variety a bit of pressure, so this one could blow my hat right off.
That's right.
Yeah, so it's quite different in that it is pressure. There is a consequence.
Yeah.
So the deal is you're going to get maybe a 3-foot putt, a 2-foot, whatever you like, 4, and you're going to have 10 goes with one ball.
So
There's
get
the trick.
one ball.
One ball.
We're going to put a bit of pressure on.
And you're on it. You can't go from the same spot twice.
So you're going to pick 10 different spots, long putts, short putts, and
Whatever. I think from, say, 6 foot in, so I'm going to go 3 foot. Because
Okay.
that's my pet hate, 3 foot, because I think I
And it's such an
miss it.
important distance, right?
So, and because I've seen how I'm putting, my goal would be to get 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10 3-foot putts?
Yes.
But all different
All
positions.
Different spots.
Okay, and then you'd have a score at
Then
the
I have
end
to
of that.
score. Here's the consequence. I cannot leave this putting green until I reach my goal.
Which is
So-
9 out of 10.
So I'm now just deciding I'm going to make it 8 out of 10.
You could make it 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I can make it 5 out of 10.
And depending on your handicap, right,
Yes,
you might say,
exactly.
I want to walk away with 5 out of 10 3-foot putts. Or,
Yes.
play around, you can work it out.
But you need to build your confidence but feel the pressure.
Feel a bit of pressure.
And this has been proven on tour and everywhere else that if you do this, it then applies much more to the golf course. Golf course becomes easy.
Yeah,
So you
yeah.
practice hard, practice under pressure, and then it's easy out there. Whereas ball after
There's
ball.
another great one where you put a row of tees from the green away. So say 6 tees about 6 inches apart. That get the first one, then get the second one. If you miss, you start again. So there's a bit of a consequence. You can't go home until you've got to the end tee.
Yeah.
Something like that.
That's a good game.
That's a game as
But
well.
what they're saying is that when you're playing in a competition, you don't have tees on the green. So
Yeah,
you're
right.
really trying to simulate.
That's more of a game then, yeah.
Yeah, so
okay.
you're simulating what's happening
Yeah,
out
okay,
there, which
okay.
is really good.
Good.
And then the other game we could play, 2 games, you've got 9 holes. You can do 9 holes of putting.
Right.
So you start, like you might start with a
Pick a little course.
pick a little course of 9 holes. Not all super long. You might have a 6-footer or a 5-footer. Then you might have
A longer
10,
putt.
a medium length, then a long putt.
And you do a score.
And you do a score. So you might say, depending on your skill level, you might say, well, if I 2-putted everything over 9 holes, that would be a total of 18.
18.
I'm off whatever your handicap is. Let's say you're in the teens. You might go, well, on a long putt, there's a chance I'm going to 3-putt.
Yeah.
So I'm sort of going to maybe start at 19 or 20. If you're a low marker, you're going to go for 18 or 17 because you're going to hope you're going to get a couple
Yeah.
of shorter putts.
And if you've got a home course, you could even set up a little course that you could do over a number of weeks and try and improve your score.
Absolutely. At the Dune here last year, or was the year before, they had a putting competition. It ran over a
that's
period of
great
time,
fun, isn't it?
And all the members would come out. They'd have a drink or
that's
something
really
Friday
fun.
afternoon.
What
and
a
then
great
they had
idea.
a grand final, the people who got to the
Did
final.
they? Because
It
it's
was
quite a big green
it's
here.
a huge green.
That's
here.
a really good idea.
So they had 9 holes set up. The holes were quite long.
Yeah.
I think you don't need all long.
Yeah,
Probably
no,
have
some
3
long,
long,
some short.
3 medium.
Even if you did like a 4 or 5 hole,
Yeah.
so if you haven't got much space, and then remember where you took it from and see if you can beat it over the weeks, have a personal best and that sort of
But I
stuff.
think the key is the one ball, you don't get to repeat it.
Yeah, take one ball. So just in recap, we've got our drills and our technique to start with.
Yes.
We've got our fun games for seconds, and then we want to put a bit of pressure on at the end and make it a bit of a competition with a result and
Yes.
a consequence.
Yeah. and you can't leave until you reach.
And would you say like 10 minutes on each section, or would you do half? Like how much?
Hey, that's a very good question.
How much time
I think
you've
if
got?
you've got half an hour to spend,
10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes.
depends on your skill level, don't you? If you're really a great putter, you might only spend 5 minutes on technique,
And then
a
start
bit
playing
more
some games.
on variety, and then
Yeah.
a bit more in competition.
Yeah.
If you're a new golfer, you're probably going to spend a lot more time on the technique, a bit of games, and less on the competition.
What about if you're about to go and play? You could even concentrate this down. 5 minutes technique, 5 minutes games,
Yes,
5 minute
brilliant.
competition, and then go and play. There's a 15-minute putting warm up. Perfect.
Yeah.
And it's a bit more interesting, it's a
That
bit more
would be
fun.
great. Like you get the game, so you're getting the speed of the greens.
Yeah, yeah.
You do closer putts, so you're getting them in and getting
Yeah,
success.
yeah. Perfect.
Games probably before you go. Are really
So there you
great.
go. That's how to practice your putting like Tiger does.
Yes. Don't forget, do the drills, have the games, have fun, and good luck in competition.
See you next time on
Bye.
ProGolfGals. Bye.